From a personal point of view, now we have a wee one, we'd probably think, or we do actually have extra food and formula for her, because it's such a fickle nature, these earthquakes, so you've still got to sort of think ahead, because we could be standing here now and there'd be another one happen, and then what? We're a bit more aware about having personal belongings on us, like cell phones and wallets on you. There's cases where you just can't get those sort of things back, and always have a plan. Try to find or have an agreed place where to meet your family, I guess. There's another thing to sort of learnt, so yeah.
It was scary.
We spend a lot of time outside just to minimise, obviously when you're inside you can hear everything rattling, and the kids are more aware of aftershocks, so we spend a lot of time just hanging outside and just, you didn't really feel it so much, and then just enjoying some sort of normality.
We tried to keep everything as mellow as possible for the kids, so we never ever showed our own fear in front of our children. Because of that, she wasn't around, but the 4.5-year-old, he's never showed any signs of stress or
when it happens,
fear, or every time there's an aftershock, he just thinks it's hilarious and dances around. So we've always just tried to keep it really relaxed in our family, and even if things were falling around like in front of us, we never
still exciting.
Never screamed, never cried in front of the kids, just kept happy in front of them, and then they in turn stayed really calm, or he stayed really calm the whole time.
When it all kicked off, the kids were at school, so I was the first thought is to go and check out how they are, and got up there and there were a load of kids. Some of them were really panicked and some of them weren't, and I later found out that was down to which teachers were panicked and which ones weren't. And so kind of after the quakes, what you really get is an idea of how easy they took it, really, And you see kids who haven't, and they've been a bit traumatised, and so are the parents. And I think that's the way it's fed back for the kids, If you were kind of chilled about it, or you got together quickly and, just got on with it, they were the same. Keep the kids calm, be as calm yourself as you possibly can. Don't let them show you getting freaked out,
Well, I've got 3 kids. They're 9, 7 and 7, and at the time they were 4, 4 and 6. So it was a case of they would take their cues from us during the earthquake. So while it was scary at the time, it's just making sure that after the earthquake we made them feel safe and acknowledge that they were scared at the time, and that everyone gets scared at the time, but that we're all safe and we're together and we're in a safe place. The houses are going to collapse, and that everyone's sharing the same experience. Really important to let them know it's a natural phenomenon as well, and that it's not monsters under the ground, which I know some kids have got quite scared about, but that this is just the earth doing what it normally does, and that we can get through it together. So that was really good.
And it's very big and it shakes a lot of stuff, and it's when one plate moves onto or under another plate or away from another plate, and it pushes another plate away, and it makes everything shake.
We spent a lot of time talking about how we were feeling and how Mummy and Daddy were feeling, and getting them to write some things down. Jessie wrote a great letter to Bumble, which I've still got, saying, literally going through everything she was feeling. I'm feeling upset, I want you to visit. And I wrote it all down for you, didn't I? Because you were only 4. And we've still got that. And with Ben, it was more through his play. He was only 1.5. So it was more through his play. We went to play centre, he'd build blocks up, and they'd get knocked down. What happened? It was the earthquake. Yeah. So it was a lot of it was through their play.
We just pretended like they were funny to a certain degree, and we didn't talk about anything that that had concerned us in front of them, and just tried to make it just seem like it was just one of those things that happened quite regularly, and that people just cope with it.
I think as a parent it was talking them through their feelings and trying to get them to articulate in some way, age appropriately, what they were feeling. And I remember saying to these guys that everybody in Christchurch was going through the same thing, even though we became quite isolated in our own home because we didn't want to go anywhere. It was everybody in Christchurch was going through the same thing. And I'm sure I can remember her registering that and her going, oh, it's not just us, it's every single person, it's all our family, all our friends, everybody's going through exactly the same thing.
Keeping your head, I would say. So not watching the news or looking at newspapers where they keep replaying all of the old trauma and tragedy.
Yeah, we never really
No.
watched anything, or
No.
if we spoke about it, we'd speak about it after he went to bed, and yeah, definitely tried to keep him away because we didn't want him to ever know that we were very nervous about it, which obviously we were.